Rabbit. This isn't real.
What is real? How do you define real? If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell, what you can taste and see, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain. This is the world that you know. The world as it was at the end of the 20th century. It exists now only as part of a neural interactive simulation that we call the Matrix. You've been living in a dream world, Neo. This is the world as it exists today.
The Matrix is a system, Neo. That system is our enemy. But when you're inside, you look around, what do you see? Businessmen, teachers, lawyers, carpenters, the very minds of the people we are trying to save. But until we do, these people are still a part of that system, and that makes them our enemy. You have to understand, most of these people are not ready to be unplugged. And many of them are so inert, so hopelessly dependent on the system, that they will fight to protect it. Were you listening to me, Neo? Or were you looking at the woman in the red dress? I was... Look again.
See, we could fix it, but we don't care enough about ourselves to fix it. We have a black aristocracy, which is a buffer group of Negroes, ministers, elected officials, so-called black nationalist leaders who ain't nationalists at all. They just capitalists making money. Exactly.
Still European minds.
Exactly. Community leader. We got educated black people, principals, black aristocracy who don't give a damn about black people. All they're trying to do is live the life of a white person, and they're going to do it by stepping on the necks of poor black people. Exactly. When a black mother goes to the school to talk to a black principal about how her child is being treated, she expects that there's going to be a little bit of loyalty there, that principal has some stake in her son's education. But that is an expectation that is wrong. That principal has no stake in your child's education because they are a member of the black aristocracy.
Indeed.
The black aristocracy. And unfortunately, most of us go to churches that are led by people of the black aristocracy. Most of our kids go to schools that are principled by members of the black aristocracy. Many of our young men are housed in prisons, okay, that are overseen by members of the black aristocracy. In every area where black people suffer, before you get to white supremacy, you got to go through the black aristocracy. Because the black aristocracy's job is to do what? Protect white rulers and the white ruling elite from the black masses. That's why.
Right.
Whenever things get bad in the black community, who do they send? They send your politicians, your ministers, and your national black leaders to do what? Come and organize you so that your fight will be effective? Hell no. They don't come to organize you so your fight can be effective. They come to do what? Pacify you with empty promises of something that's going to happen next year. And by the time next year comes, everybody has forgot the hell about what happened. Because we have to have a little bit more political patience with the outcomes of things. But we must not at all be patient, waiting for our leaders to do something on our behalf. We have been too patient, accepting mistreatment. But we're not patient enough with the persistence that's going to be necessary in order to tear down this wall of white supremacy that's crushing us and crushing our children.
Right. Definitely. It seems to be you know, like we said, there's these European mentalities, and even those that are in the schools, a lot of times, you know, people are like, oh, my child has a black teacher, but you're still getting, you know, the same treatment mentally. These people are not there to educate our children. They're definitely not that dangerous. We have a lot of confidence in it. We're looking for acceptance all the time, and we're trying to, you know, fit into, you know, what they say we should be or what their standards are. And, you know, it's really just sickening that we can't see this. We can't see what's going on at that time.
Black people are fooling themselves because they go around teaching that we were this great historical people, which is true. The problem, sis, is that 95% of our effort is directed at remembering who we were, not creating a reality of what we're going to be for the remainder of this century. You follow me? You cannot build an institution by constantly worrying about what happened in Egypt 4,000 years ago. It is necessary for us to reconstruct our psychohistory. But beyond that, history is no good for anything more than intellectual masturbation. But if you look at our black scholars, nearly all of them are like totally focused on recovering Egypt. I don't want to hear another thing about Egypt. I don't want to see another lecture on Egypt. We are dealing with police brutality, miseducation, psychotropic medication, special education. We don't have any institutions. We don't have supermarkets. Okay, our black farmers are in distress. We don't have a serious Pan-African economic program where we can engage in some sort of economic collaboration with our brothers and sisters in the Caribbean, in Asia, and in Africa. What the hell are we coming together for? And Kwanzaa's coming up, which is the week of cultural masturbation. More cultural masturbation takes place during Kwanzaa than any other time. And I'm not attacking it. I'm not attacking it. But the problem with cultural nationalism is it doesn't have a political component to it, okay? You got to have a political action plan for this stuff. You can't just sit around and talk about Kuji Chakalia, but ain't nobody in the business of promoting it in practice.